Hello, Victoria from Bodygraph here, and in today's video we will be connecting Kit or prior ConvertKit to the Bodygraph. Now the good news is that we have a ConvertKit integration. That means connection is pretty straightforward, and I will demonstrate all the steps that you need to take in this video. Now, if you recognize that the step-by-step guide on the article or this tutorial is outdated because of the changes at the body graph or maybe changes at the kit, please report that to support@bodygraphchat.com and we will work on the updates. So let's move forward and make the kit and body graph connection. Okay, so when I'm working with the connection to the third-party app, I like to have two tabs open. So at one tab, I have Bodygraph connected, and on different tab, I have my testing kit account open. So now that I have it open, let's move forward and start connecting the kit to the Bodygraph. So the first thing that you would do at the Bodygraph would go to the My Apps tool and click Create New button. Select Kit, Next, and then give it a name. Now usually I give it a name exactly as the kit, as the app name. That helps to identify the app within the integration, so it's easy to know which app is this, especially that if you have multiple app integrations, or maybe you want to separate the kit connections because you can't connect the kit multiple times with exact same credentials. The difference will be the form where the subscribers land. Maybe you have a different integrations, for example, for relationship and traditional human design individual charts, and you want to separate incoming subscribers, so you can have two kit connections. And then I would recommend to name the connection under that specific for example, integration, whether it's relationship or astrology or cycles or whatever. So now, of course, I have just one kit connection, so I named it kit, and then I need to collect API and API secret. So for that, we will head to the kit. To find those credentials, we would need to go to Settings, Developers Dashboard, and that's the place where the API key and API secret lives. Now, if you do not see, or if you just recently subscribed to the kit, it can be that there will be no, for example, key or no secret, API secret. So you can add a new key or create for connection. So let's copy the API key, paste it. Now when you're copying and pasting the credentials, it's very important that there would be no spaces between before or after the credential, and that applies for all the apps, payment apps, newsletter apps, data collection apps, because these spaces will break the connection and most likely you will receive errors. So of course, when you're using auto copy button, that shouldn't copy any spaces, but if you manually highlighting, highly likely you can also copy some spaces, so be very careful that there would be no spaces before or after credentials. Let's go and copy as well the API secret, save, and then test the connection. Testing the connection basically indicates that the credentials are correct and the connection right now is granted between the Bodygraph and kit. However, it's not done yet. Sometimes customers happy that it's done, connection is successful, so they move forward to enabling this connection at the integration, and then data does not arrive to kit. Well, because connection is done with the Bodygraph, but we're not telling where data is supposed to land. As you can see, there is no selection of the form, and this is a common mistake, that this step is being missed out. So it's very important to select the form. Now, if you have already some forms created at the kit, so you can select existing form, or if you want to separate the subscribers from Bodygraph to completely new form, so you can create a new form, and that's what we're going to do in this video. So I'll go to Growth, Landing Pages and Forms, and add a new form. Does not matter the style, design, or anything of the form, because this form will not be visible for anything, any of the subscribers. I will rename it to something obvious, Bodygraph, for example, and publish. Now we will not use this embed code. As I said, this form won't be seen absolutely anywhere. This form is specifically to complete the connection with the Bodygraph and to say that, okay, this is where the subscribers need to basically land and attach to the form within the kit. So now that I have this form published, I can go back to the kit connection. Well, initially I won't see the form, but I can click save and refresh the page, and my newly created form should appear. So now I can select a form and move on to the tags and custom fields. Well, tags will allow you to sort the subscribers. So for example, by type, by profile, and send very targeted emails, for instance, just for type manifester or just for profile 1.3. So these tags allows you to sort the subscribers within Kit and then build the different email sequences. Source tag also does the good job because it attaches the tag Bodygraph. So that kind of automatically separates the subscribers from any other incoming subscribers if you're collecting the subscribers from different platforms. Now, versus the custom fields, that this is additional data that you're collecting about the customer, not just an email and name, but you can collect their date of birth, place of birth, the link to their chart, their type, so that you can include this information into the emails, meaning that they are more personalized for the customer and got the more feeling that you're actually talking directly to them rather than generic marketing email with the generic information. So mentioning or including custom fields in the email is always a good idea, because it feels that you're actually talking with me. Now, very common mistake that customers selecting the form, tags, custom fields, and then click straight away send test data. Well, it's obvious because the button has a different color, and just in a rush, customers pressing that send test data, that will cause the error to appear. First step that needs to be done, the selection, as you can see is right now, for example, I got an error, so I need to confirm the selection of my form, my tags, and the custom fields, then click send test data. Then when I confirm the selection, the test data is sent successfully. So now when the test data is sent successfully, I can go to Kit, Growth and Subscribers, and have a look if the subscriber came through. Now, very important to select all subscribers. And as you can see, Alex testing data came through. That means, and that indicates that connection is done, it's working, and it is successful. But it's not just completed just yet. So as you can see right now at my apps, my kit indicates that it's not in use, it's not active. So it's not enough just to connect at my apps. Yes, it is linked with the Bodygraph, but it's not linked with the integration just yet. So need to make sure that we go into integrate chart, selecting the embed code that you are using or will be using on your integration apps, and enabling the app that we just connected. In this video, specifically Kit. Now the connection is complete and it's time to test it. But before you test it, need to ensure that your submission form at the design, in my case it's default, that it has the email field enabled. So if you will go to the submission form settings, you need to make sure that email field is enabled. Otherwise, data won't be sent, so the connection will not work. So ensure that email field enabled, ensure that the kit is enabled at the integration, and it's now for the final test. Now, final test can be performed at the preview mode, just as I will do right now, or it can be performed directly on your website. So you can go in and generate the chart. Now, I highly advise to use email that, for example, that you never used, sorry, not that you never used it, but that you have no this email as a subscriber within the kit, because the data will not add additional subscribers. It's already on your list. So ideally, the test should be run with new email address. Once the chart is generated, then I can come back to the subscribers list, refresh it, and see if that data came through. So now I can see and open what data is actually coming through. So as you can see, all my selections, age, date of birth, place of birth, link to the chart is here. So I can right now manipulate this data and use for the marketing purposes. Now, also very important to note that if you have, for example, double opt-in, and my testing account specifically has as well double opt-in, that means incentive email is sent, and as you can see, the subscriber is unconfirmed, meaning I cannot include them into any email sequences until the customer goes into their email and confirms that they want to be subscribed and receiving emails. So if you have on the form, for example, the agreement checkbox already with the very clear terms and conditions and privacy policies linked, that's more than enough to be opt-in into the emails, and you might want to turn off the opt-in ad kit so they could be enrolled into the email sequences. However, if you prefer to keep the confirmation and actually to keep absolute per subscribers who intentionally confirm the subscription, then it's a good idea to keep opt-in turned on within the kit. Now, I mentioned as well that it's very good idea to set up, for example, email sequences, especially that very initial welcome email, and say thank you for generating your chart. This is the link, for example, to your chart. The link never expires, so that kind of locks in the customer with you, so they know that they have a link. They don't need to resubmit the form. They just can click the link and the chart opens for them. So when they will come across to, let's say, human design elsewhere with a friends event or anything, they know that they can click and open the chart, and highly likely they will recommend your website as well for others to generate your chart, other than Googling and ending up with a different reader, for example. So different apps work slightly different how to include the chart URL into your emails. Of course, the best would be to refer to kit's guidance, because I'm not, of course, the expert of the kit. But if I do remember correctly, I was testing a while ago, so I was building the automation, setting, for example, incoming subscriber as a trigger, and then the response to that trigger is to send that welcome email. Now, and then what I did, you can include, and this is exactly what you need to include to pick up the customer's chart URL. You can include simple shortcode to pick up URL, but that's going to be just like a plain link. Or you can create a clickable button, for example, and then add the shortcode under the clickable button, so it looks more nice and more nice design and more, aesthetically pleasing. So this is the email that will, for example, send that welcome with the link, and this is a good idea to have this set up, as I said, because it's a nice experience to receive the chart link immediately after you're submitting it. So it kind of gives as well the trust of the customer that your business is basically decent, and that you're actually sharing and letting them keep the chart with them, rather than just generating, leaving, and basically forgetting where they're generating the chart last time. So this is the end of the tutorial of how to connect the kit with the Bodygraph. As you can see, it does not take too long actually to make the connection. It probably takes even quicker than I just talking about the most common issues and errors and obstacles that customers usually have while making the connection. But it takes literally just a few minutes to make the connection work, and then you can collect the leads and then sit down and start building your marketing strategies, thinking about all the email sequences that you want to build, especially including the custom fields and the tags. Maybe you want to attach, for example, different email sequences based on the type, for instance. So you can continue sharing valuable information through the emails. For instance, let's say, did you know that your type is blank? That means blank and blank and blank. Solution would be blank and blank and blank. So you're getting customer warm up with you, you're getting customer hooked up with the information that you're sending. If you're continuously sending every, I don't know, week or a month, depending on what your preference is, and then eventually maybe the third or the fourth email, you would say like, okay, so now that you know all of this information, are you actually ready to put this in practice? And maybe you want to schedule a meeting with me, or maybe you want to buy the upgraded version of the report or service. So this is like a little bit as a fishing game, I like to say, throwing the valuable information at the customers and then eventually saying like, okay, now it's time to actually talk, right? So best of luck in making Kit and Bodygraph connection. Best of luck in building email sequences, and of course, absolutely massive, huge, humongous success in your business.